what's happening. Oh, guess what? I got all my stuff back. Yay! So now to get out and make sure it all works better than the last one before the RMA, but we'll find out. Prius V superpower. Anyway, updates and whatnot. So I had a wedding last weekend. It was pretty nice. Everything went, you know, fairly good. It was my girlfriend's brother, who is actually a pilot. So he went to the airport, and it's like this small 2-lane airport where planes can come and they can camp out there, and there's like a small campsite around there. And this is the kind of pull he has to where he goes to the airport manager of, I don't know, whoever runs the airport, and asks them if he can shut down half the airport so he can have his wedding ceremony on one of the runways. And they're like, sure, why not? So for 3-4 days, they just shut down half the airport for him. Had the wedding on the runway with some planes in the background and stuff. I got a couple pictures and stuff like that over there. Hooray! Went really good though. Real good food, good time. The only problem was they have a golf cart for going back and forth between the, you know, the campsite and the runway, the airport and stuff. And it had a key in it, but the key wasn't in there, and there were 2 kids playing around on it, maybe, I don't know, 7-8 years old. No, younger than that, 5-6 years old. And somehow one of them ended up hitting the gas pedal, and this golf cart went across part of the reception site in between 2 trees that you could barely fit it through, and it ran into like a concrete bench which stopped it. Luckily though, nobody was hurt. You know, the kids were okay. I think the little girl bumped her chin on the steering wheel or something, but apparently they removed the key a long time ago and just wired it over to a toggle switch, so it looked like there was no key in it, so I don't think anyone was too worried about it, but it was technically still powered on. So that was a pretty exciting moment. But other than that, you know, ceremony was gorgeous, food was great, you know, good times. Good times though. So ever since moving out here to California, I haven't really met any people, which I'm not very outgoing, so I mean, it even makes doing these videos and stuff a little difficult sometimes, to be honest. I set up an Instagram and a Twitter so that I'll put the links on the video, of course, and that way, you know, it's a better way to know if something's up. I'll try and keep that updated. And luckily this time when the camera went out, I was still able to record enough footage to let people know what's up, and, you know, for those watching, so they didn't think I just fell off the map or quit making videos or whatever. But if it were to have just went out completely, then who knows? You know, trying not to leave y'all hanging. But I actually got in touch with the guy, goes by the name of Clutch Up Cullen. It lives pretty close to me, actually about 25, maybe 30 minutes away. And seems like a pretty cool guy. Gonna hook up with him one of these weekends so that we can go out riding and whatnot. I think he's got an idea of where we can hit some decent roads and stuff up by him, so I'm gonna head up there and we'll see how that goes. I'll make sure that I get that recorded. If you don't hear from me after that, that's because it wasn't actually a guy. It was like a troop of deranged Girl Scouts that cut out my liver and kidneys and left me in the forest to die, but we'll hope for the best. All right, I gotta run in here real quick, pick up a couple things, and we will be right back. Yeah, well, that's done. So anyway, as I was talking about, you know, not meeting a bunch of people and stuff, like when I was in Chicago, I had one friend that I grew up with. Check it out. Hunan Bar and Restaurant. And pretty much that was it, one friend I grew up with. But, you know, it takes a while to actually have a friend like that. I mean, the type that would come over and wake you up at 3 in the morning and ask you to make him breakfast. You know, a guy like that. But on that note, he called me up one day at, oh, I don't know, I think I was working nights, and I got home at like 1:30 in the morning, and he calls me up at like 2 a.m. And at the time, he was driving a tow truck. He's like, hey, I gotta go pick up this car and you're coming with me. So, I threw my stuff on, and I don't remember if he picked me up or if I drove to his house and then we went and got the truck. I don't remember if he had it or was on call, but, and apparently the car he needs to pick up is in Cabrini Greens. Now, I mean, that's what it used to be called. For those that don't know, Cabrini Greens is like the ghetto. I mean, when you visualize the ghetto, that is it. I used to work across the street from it, and that's one of those places where they would actually push dumpsters out in the road to get you to stop your car, and once you stop, they would either shoot you or drag you out of your car and beat you and steal it. You know, drug dealers on every corner. Pizza deliveries wouldn't go there anymore because they were getting shot at and robbed when they dropped stuff off. I mean, just the ghetto. And so he's like, yeah, we got to go pick up a car from up there. And I said, all right. So he wanted someone to ride with him, you know, that way he didn't have to die alone and stuff. So I went on plenty of tows with them, and normally you get up there and, you know, you either find the owner or whatnot, and you get them to sign off, and then you back the tow truck up, bring the arm down, you know, the whole thing. But we got to this place, and so he looked at me and he says, all right, stay in the truck unless something happens. Okay. So he jumps out of this truck, runs around the back and grabs this, just one long hook on a cable, throws it under the car on the back axle, jumps back in the tow truck and floors it. We take off, just dragging this car behind us. The wheels are still locked up and chirping, and we're just dragging it away until we get at least like right to the expressway ramp out of that area. So then we stop and hook the thing up, and you know, but it's those kind of things that, you know, you wouldn't really do for a normal person. I mean, it's that kind of friendship, you know, and you don't find that often. It is cool meeting some other people, and who knows, maybe ending up with someone to hang out with a little more regularly and, you know, piss around with, get into trouble with. I mean, you know, do normal legal things good for the society and stuff like that. Oh, so my girlfriend's brother, being a pilot, I was talking to him at the wedding and stuff, and I would like to, and hopefully you can look forward to in future videos, I'm gonna get out to his airport, you know, do a little filming there. Maybe he'll let me use the runway for a little bit, maybe, and go up in some planes, get some footage. You know, it's a lot of 4 to 6 seater planes, small planes. I mean, it's not like he's got a giant jumbo jet or anything, but I believe he's got 6 or 8 little planes now because he runs a flight school. So we'll see how that goes if I get up there with him. He also rides too, so who knows, might even get out there and do a little riding out there by him. Right now though, he lives about, I don't know, 3 hours away, 3.5 hours away, which isn't bad, but it's a long trip just to go, you know, run out there, film for an hour, a couple hours, and then drive all the way back. So, you know, that's kind of like a weekend thing. But him and his new wife are actually moving a lot closer to where I am now, so, you know, that'd be cool. Hang out with him. Anyway, I'll let you guys get back to what you were doing today before you end up finding yourself on some really dark, strange part of YouTube. But as always, thank you guys very much for your continued support, and you'll be hearing from me again soon. Take care. I wonder what it would cost to rent a clown to ride on the back of this all day. Or maybe a mine.